Hello, so I have been seeing people using these molds for like resin, but filling them with hot glue. But trying to find an actual tutorial is kind of hard, so I figured you guys can learn with me. So I'm gonna turn my camera and we're gonna try to figure out how to do this ourselves. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I have this mini hot glue gun with pink and gold glue sticks. So I've got my pink and gold because the project I'm going to be doing is in pink and gold. I've already attempted that's not on. I've already attempted a few times with the pink and the gold, and they've kind of turned out a little eh. The gold seems to be a little bit harder than the pink. I don't know if that's the brand or what, but if you look, you can see, oh, if I can get it on camera, you can see the lines, like the breaks where the glue I had to press. You can almost see it. So I whipped out, hold on, let me clean that off. I whipped out my big glue gun and the big glue sticks, and we're gonna attempt both together. And also, not just that, but I've also learned from trial and error. I'm gonna go ahead and grab an extra glue stick. I use wax paper. So I've got wax paper from my iron-on applications, and I'll show you what exactly I do with that. So I'm gonna move this mold out of the way. We're gonna start with the big glue gun. And these are the ones that seem to give me the most trouble. Let me clean that out real quick. So what I've been doing is, you know what, just for example, we'll do this one. So I put it in there and kind of like squeeze it out. And you want to get in every nook and cranny. So I want to kind of like force it in there. And then what I've been doing is taking my wax paper, putting it over the top, and just kind of flattening that out. And then we'll wait for that to cool. You know what, I'll squeeze this in here and try to show you guys again. So I'm going to, the big glue gun seems to be going a lot easier than the small mini glue gun. Oh, my glue stick. I need another glue stick. There we go, okay. Sorry, my hands shake really bad. And I'm gonna wipe that, and then I'm gonna press it down. And then we're gonna give that a minute, and while that is going, I will go ahead and plug in the small glue gun, just to show you guys the difference. If I can find a plug. Okay, let's give that a minute to heat up. I'm trying to set it where it won't get on my desk. There we go. Okay. And then we're just gonna, oh, that's not dry. See, the bigger one tends to take longer to dry, I've noticed. I don't know how well it's gonna work with the pressing, but you know what? We'll learn. That's how we learn. So there's that. And then whenever I start peeling back, it's kind of wanting to peel the glue, so it's not dry yet. So let's take this and set this back here for the moment. And we're going to grab our small glue gun, untangle the cords, and pull that up here. I wonder if I have any more. I think I've got more wax paper. Give me just a second. Apparently I do not. Okay, that's fine. All right. I'll show you guys without. So I'm gonna test that. We'll do this little molding here. And this glue gun, I just got it yesterday because I ordered colored glue sticks to make the molding because I'm building a dollhouse. And I want my molding to either be pink or gold. So I bought pink and gold to see what it would look like, but I accidentally bought the mini glue sticks, so I had to buy a new glue gun, whereas that's my trusty bad boy that I use all the time. So it's starting to leak, so I'm assuming it's ready. I'm going to press it in. My hand. Sorry, I got big hands, and this cramps my hands really bad. And then I'm just going to keep pressing. And as you can see, it doesn't really just flow together very well. I got to kind of and this dries really fast. So I'll show you without pressing it, and then I will show you what it looks like with pressing it. Okay, so there's without pressing. Let me pull the string. Let's check in on our ones while that cools, let's check in on these ones. Yeah, it came right off. Okay, so let's move that. So these are the ones that these are the ones that we just did. So let's peel them out and see how they did with the big glue gun. I think that's much better. Needs a coat of paint. And then here is, let me see if I can turn my lamp here. There we go. So there's that, and that in comparison with the gold that I attempted yesterday, if you can spot the difference. So it's either the mini glue gun or it's the glue sticks themselves. It could be the glue sticks themselves. Maybe just not melting as good. So that one is a good piece, just needs painted. Let's check this one in comparison with a gold and pink one because I was trying to clear out the glue stick. So you can see the difference in size, definitely. Let me see if I know I did the same, oop, underneath my spider enclosure. Oops, my bad. So this is made in the same mold, and you can see the crack there. I don't really have cracks in this one, but the size difference alone. Okay, now this pink one that's not pressed should be ready. Oh, and then let's do the pink one, and we'll press this one. Let me get it where you guys can see it. Oh, I got a glue ball there. Okay. What I do I fumble around for quite a while. Kick my stand back. There we go. And then I'm going to start pressing, and I'm going to work my way from one end I kind of want it to be full. I'd rather cut off the excess than have dips where there's not enough glue. And then as I go, and I'm once again making sure to get into every nook and cranny. Actually, this one's going pretty decently. A little. And I gotta move quick, and then I just press, and I kind of rub it to flatten it out so it doesn't have like my finger indentions. And I got a lot of glue drip. But the difference is that I've noticed with the small one versus the big one is I can already peel that back. And since my glue is trying to go ahead and express itself, let's go ahead and do another mold real quick. Sorry, I'm kind of bouncing around. I should have started at one end, but my glue started dribbling in the middle there. And you gotta really make sure you push that glue gun in there. Make sure it gets all in there. And then I'm going to press on this half as I go, because it's, as I said, the mini glue guns tend to press or dry a lot faster, I mean. And I'm gonna write that, and I'm gonna press. Okay, so now let's use this mold over here to kind of catch my glue. And then we're gonna peel this off. Okay, so you see how that's like nice and kind of flat? And then I'm gonna, ooh, it did not melt yet, or harden yet. Well, that was weird. So, well, this is the whole point of this, to live and learn, right? See, like this one is already kind of dry. Let me peel this one. So this is how this one turned out. And as you can see, there are the strings. But if with a little X-Acto knife, I can trim off all the little extra strings and excess. But it's all bumpy on the back, right? But if you flatten it with some wax paper as you go, see, I've got my excess, but if I cut all that excess off, then the back is now flat to where I can adhere it to the wall of my dollhouse and not have any issue. Let's check this big mold again. I think it's ready to come out. Yeah, there we go. And there we go. So there's a nice pink one. Looks like it has some gold residue right here where I had run gold through there first. I may have to get a secondary hot glue gun for separate colors. I noticed I didn't get the wax fully in right there. Or not wax. I didn't get the hot glue fully in right there. So there's that. So you do got to watch out for stuff like that. That's why I was pushing it in and trying to make sure I get every nook and cranny. But yeah, there you go. You've got some nice crown molding. Okay, so now we have all of our little molded pieces, molding. And I'm going to make a few more, and then I'm going to test out paints in another video. So we'll try different kind of paints on the hot glue to see what exactly works. So make sure you follow.